Hey students, it's Mr. Fleece here. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use your watercolor palette to mix colors. Let's get in it. A few tools we're going to need in order to paint with watercolors. You'll need your watercolor palette, which already has the primary colors put on there. We're using a tube watercolor, and it has already had an opportunity to dry in your well, so you'll need your palette. You're also going to need a round watercolor Taklon brush, which is going to have a synthetic bristle hair. You'll also need a paper towel or a painting towel of some kind to dry your brush, and you'll need a small container of water. This is a new brush, so the bristles are kind of stiff. So the first thing we're going to do is dip our brush in water, give it a little stir, and then we are going to tap it on the towel here. Starting with yellow, I like to start with my lightest color when I'm working with watercolor. And I'm going to just rub a little bit on top, and you're going to see your yellow paint come right back to life. And I'm going to fill in the wedge labeled Y for yellow. And what I'm doing here is I'm just carefully painting in to try and stay inside my markings the best that I can. Now, the next color with yellow is yellow-orange. So I need to mix yellow-orange by taking a slight bit of yellow. I'm going to pick it up here with my brush, and I'm going to put it into this well over here. So now I got a little yellow. Clean your brush, rinse it, tap it on the towel to clean it out, grab a little water, and I'm going to pick up just the smallest piece of red. You can see how the tip turned red just a little bit, and I'm going to mix that into my yellow. All I'm doing here is slightly tinting my color. Notice how it's still too similar, so what do I got to do? Grab just a little bit more red and mix it in. I want it to be just slightly tinted orange, just like that. Now I've got my yellow-orange. To mix orange, I'm going to stir this, grab a little bit of my yellow, and I'm going to come out here to the center, put a little bit of yellow, clean my brush, tap it on the towel, and now I'm going to grab a little bit more red and mix those together until I get a nice orange color. If it's a little too red, which I feel like that might be a little too red, I'm going to grab some more yellow, but I have to rinse my brush between each time. Grab a little yellow and mix it in, and now I've got a nice orange color here that I can paint in the orange. Now I'm going to create a red-orange, and to do that, I can take and mix a little bit more red into that orange that we made to make a reddish orange color. And now I'm going to clean my brush and add red. If you notice, my orange color is not that orange. I actually want it to be a little darker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a smidgen of yellow back to that yellow orange we made, and I'm going to put a second layer. So I can just add a little bit of orange here. And now I'm going to rotate my palette because I'm going to mix a little bit of red, put it in this little empty box here. Clean my brush, tap it off with the paper towel. Make sure to clean out all the paint so you don't mix your primary colors together. And I'm going to grab a little bit of blue and mix in here. So to make my red violet, I want my violet to be just a little bit red tinted. And I'm going to go in, actually it needs just a hair more blue, so you can adjust your colors as you go. There we go, that's nice. I always think of red violet crayon from Crayola. As you lay your colors down, you should notice that it is different from the color that's right next to it. If it's not different, then you know that you need to adjust your colors slightly. Now I'm going to make a violet, which is going to be more of an even mixture of red and an even mixture of blue to get a nice violet color. And I'm going to paint that in. And now what I'm going to do is add just a little bit more blue to my purple to make a blue violet. Like that. And now I'm ready to put my pure blue on, so let me clean my brush, make sure there's no red left in it. Tap it on the towel, grab a little water, grab a little blue. And I'm going to put just a pure blue right here. I want to be careful not to let my wedges touch as I paint because they could blend together. Sometimes I'll even leave a little bit of a white line between, a little gap, and that's okay if you do that. Now to make blue-green, we're going to rotate our palette once more. I'm going to take a little bit of blue, put it in the palette here, clean my brush, pick up a little bit of that yellow, add it in. That's more of a yellow-green because I had a little too much yellow, so that's okay. So I just rinse, and I'm going to grab a little bit more blue, and it should be kind of a darker green, like a forest green. I can come in. I'm going to create a green, which is going to be about 50% blue and 50% yellow. Cleaning my brush in between. Grab a little yellow action, stir it up, and I got a nice green. And notice that my green and my blue-green aren't that different, right? They're kind of very similar. So what I might need to do then is clean my brush, add just a smidgen more blue to my blue-green, and put a layer on top. Kind of change that color to a blue-green. That only works if your paint's still wet, so you want to make those decisions quickly. If you have water buildup like that, you can just let it sit there and it'll dry. I'm going to turn, and now I'm going to paint my yellow-green. So I'm going to just add a little bit more yellow to my green. just like that. And now I have a completed color wheel. Make sure to rinse your brush really good and then store it in your art kit when it's dry. On your palette, you might have some leftover colors. Let them dry on your palette and you can just add a little water to those and bring those colors back to life and use them later in your watercolor painting. I was getting too excited and look how I got some green into my yellow. I can take my paper towel and I can dab that out and remove that green paint from my yellow so I still have a pure yellow. So if you accidentally mix any colors into your primary colors, all you have to do is take a slightly damp paper towel and dab out that color and make it back to its original. All right, students, one last thing is you want to leave this flat and let it totally dry before you pick it up. You can store this in your art bag and use it as your reference for when you're painting with watercolor later in class. What I want you to do to submit this assignment is to take a picture of it, and then we're going to upload it to Canvas in the watercolor color wheel project, and that's how you're going to turn in your color wheel for me to grade. Thanks for watching and good luck on your color wheel. Email me if you have any questions or concerns or get stuck. Take care and I'll see you later.